see so many people here. My name is Will Hampton. I'm the Communications and Marketing Director for the City of Round Rock. With me is Scott Wilkinson. Scott's the Director of Arts and Culture for the City of Round Rock. And we are thrilled to have so many of you here because we wanted to provide some information to you about this Black Box Theater. And judging by some of the folks who came to talk to the City Council, I think there's maybe been some questions that we can get answered, some facts that we can set straight for y'all. And so I'm going to turn this over to Scott. Now I'm suddenly louder. I'm not sure. Are you doing that? Good. Y'all better? Can y'all hear me now? Better?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm getting a thumbs up from the very back of the room. So that's better. Okay. So we got not a ton of information to go through, but I'd like for Scott to be able to get through his presentation, and then we'll sit here and we will answer questions as long as y'all will put up with us. Is that fair? So again, because we've got a lot to get through, so we'd like to be able to get through it, and then again, we'll stand here and answer questions as long as we can, as long as there may be something else coming in this room later that may kick us out, but we'll take the meeting out in the hallway if we need to. So with that, I will turn over to Scott, our Arts and Culture Director. Scott.
Well, thank you for letting me come and visit with you this morning and talk about the Black Box Theater. I'll stand back a little bit so it won't hum. I was reflecting back at some 30-something odd years ago. I recently turned 52 in May, so I could join your club and be part of your membership here at the Baca there. But my elderly parents, my mama and my daddy, they recently turned in their 80s. And I was reflecting on when I went to the first grade, and you got to know my dad there. He was a big sports guy, football, basketball. It was the game there. And his son went to first grade and ran home and said, "Daddy, buy me a piano." His eyes kind of rolled back and almost fainted, I think, there. But he was a trooper. He let me wait till the third grade and came running home from first grade at the first day and said, "Daddy, will you buy me that piano?" He said, "Go look in the living room." And he had bought a neighbor's piano, and today I have that piano in our home there, and I play for them all the time. But what a magical time it was for introducing a little boy who grew up in South Texas there to the arts and why the arts are important to everyone there. So then I thought I was the greatest actor in the world there and wanted to go to San Angelo, Texas, at Angelo State University to become the actor. Of course, my dad rolled his eyes again, says, "How are you going to make a living on that?" There. So I studied drama and speech, finally got my Master of Arts in Theater Management, and then off on the road I was to go across Texas, making a difference in people's lives and meeting some wonderful people across Texas, from South Texas to Del Rio to Harlingen, to the Dallas-Denton area, and had many chances to convert and do theater and theater performances all across Texas. From Harlingen, Texas, we renovated an old 1920s auditorium and closed a pavilion called the Casa de Amistad there, where thousands of folks now attend, and at Fair Park down there in Harlingen, and have a lot of fun. And then up in Denton, we renovated an old movie theater there called the Canvas Theater. It was on the square, and Denton was an old dried up downtown when I got there in the 90s. There.
Yeah, let's get to Round Rock.
I'll get to Round Rock. So, there. But all this is important in what we're doing. So let's talk about the Black Box Theater.
That's right.
Where are the council members?
All right. When I got here to Round Rock, the city council had adopted an arts master plan. And in this arts master plan, there is to create, join, and develop the arts in Round Rock. When I first got here, I thought maybe there might be 6 groups. Today, there are over 35 different arts groups here in Round Rock.
How many total people?
What?
How many total people in those 35 groups?
If we can get through this presentation, then we can be happy to answer questions, because I know y'all got a lot of them. So if you can just let us march through this, provide as much information as we can, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. Thanks, sir.
So last year we worked on a feasibility study looking at an arts facility for Round Rock there and what that might look at. We hired a firm out of Dallas to come in and work with all the arts groups, businesses, and people around to talk about what type of arts facility would be unique for Round Rock. Our summary that we'd need close to a 70,000 square foot facility. We would need a proscenium type house facility that seats about 1,200 or more. We needed a flexible theater that seats about 250, some rehearsal room and art gallery. The price tag was pretty hefty on that. They're around 50 million there on this facility there. So we have to raise some money there. We started the Round Rock Foundation for the Arts and some other things there, so we could start looking to see where that facility might be built and how there. So, but Round Rock is lacking performance, our indoor performing arts space there. We have the CD Folks Auditorium, which is right over here in our downtown area. It seats about 500, but there is no backstage and no entrances, and there's no lights, there's no sound in the facility. Also, there's Sam Bass Theater. Maybe some of y'all have done that. It's over in Memorial Park. It's a wonderful place, but it seats about 45 people, and it's the old train depot that was there and changed into a performing arts facility. Of course, we do have the Round Rock Raymond E. Hartford Performing Arts Center. It's not located in Round Rock, but it's a beautiful facility, but it's used mostly by our school district. There. So what is a black box theater? There. A black box theater is a bare room. There. Has 4 walls, a ceiling. There. Has movable seating, a movable stage, a flexible lighting system, and it can be used for intimate productions like small theater plays, small operas, performances, recitals, meetings, dances, you name it, and much more. This is one look what a black box theater might look like there if we built that. So the grand room, which we're here in, might become a black box theater. There. All the seating, all the curtains, there, all the stage equipment and all can all disappear at any time, and that's what the great thing is about a black box theater. There, so it can transform back into the room like you are today. Now the black box theater will have to have a grid system. There, it'll be up above you. There, you don't look at the ceiling too much. There, but there will be a grid system, so lighting and sound and other projectors can hang off of that. There, so they can use it as a theater. There, there'll be tracks installed on this grid system. There will be black velvet curtains that will just cover this wall. There, and it'll also be for sound, so you can see better and kind of darken the place. There, so we're not going to touch the walls. We're not going to paint them black. We're going to put a curtain across of it. There, so it'll be there. We'll also have a cyclorama. There, usually called a cyc. There is a big piece of white material, and that can be used for projections or movies or different lighting effects. And that also will be movable. Also, we'll have theatrical lighting, state of the art. We'll have some LED fixtures. All these stage lights are LED now. They're not hot to the touch. They don't produce a warm atmosphere to the element, but they do all kinds of different colors, and it's amazing what they do. We'll also have some new digital video projectors, some nice new speakers, sound equipment, some hearing impaired devices, so you can hear better. Also, all the risers are portable. We'll have some comfortable theater seating, and then all this will go in some storage carts so they can be wheeled away at any time. So, I'd like to bring you up what we have just started here with Black Box Theater. Kirk Johnson from Corrigan in Dallas, Texas has been hired as an architect. That's just been recently done, and we're doing a feasibility study for a black box theater. So we're looking to see if a black box theater can actually go in this room. We're looking at 3 options with this black box theater with Corrigan. First option, can it be placed in this room? So why this room? We're going to look at space and capacity. We're going to look at the height and the restrictions on that, sound reinforcement and codes, and all the additional codes. If we changed anything, what else might have to be changed in the building to comply with that. The second option that we'll be looking at is the support spaces. If we're going to do a theater, actors and all will need some dressing rooms, some makeup counters, a green room, and a technical booth area along with that. The third option is actually building a brand new facility located on the loading dock, which is just north of you, there on that area. And that will be a whole new separate area, and then we wouldn't have to bother with the grand room. There meetings and things could happen just like they are today. But the theater would be actually a black box theater built on that loading dock, and we're going to see how much that is. So the Baca Center Grand Room is a wonderful room. You have lots of events in here that happen, and it needs to stay that way. It's great. You have meetings, you have dances, you have events, you have dinners, you have galas. All that needs to stay in here. There is 3,000 square feet in this room. It seats about 300 seating style, with chairs about 160. Of course, you have your warming kitchen there. You have some sound and you have some lighting in this room. So why would we look at the grand room for a possible black box theater? One, the size is right. We can see about, for a black box theater, we can get about 150 to 200 seats in here with those movable risers. There's available space. There's concessions right next door. There's restrooms for all the visitors that come and see productions. There's flexibility and there's available hours.
Sorry.
We did a report where we went back and looked at 2 years worth of data of how many times the grand room was used. And out of those 365 days, or those 52 weeks, we found that there's 33 weeks that are kind of available to do additional type of performances like theater in this building there. But I listed all the things that currently are used in this room today. So who will use this black box theater, we hope? When you want to use it as a theater, we'll draw the curtains forward that are hidden in the pockets. We'll turn on the lights, and you can use it as your membership and general activities here at the Baca Center. We hope that our Round Rock arts organizations they will also use it on the off hours. So if the building closes at 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening, we'll have some rehearsals in there after that time. And then on weekends when it's not used, we'll have some performances there. But your events and your things that you do in this room today will not change. You come first, and those events will happen. corporate events. We had press conferences, dances, events, dinners, galas, and meetings. So lots of different things that the theatrical elements could be used for. So the Black Box Theater will triple the use of this facility without disturbing the ongoing events that are important to you. And then the grand room can always be transformed back into the room that you are today without all those theatrical elements. Now the grid will stay, the curtains can hide, you'll still have your walls, you'll still have your plates. So that's kind of a review of where we've been, what we're going to do, and trying to get you involved in the process and see what you think. Yes, sir.
I love the theater. I'm all in favor of it. I did amateur theater in Chicago and Houston for over 10 years. I met my wife 43 years ago, and we've been married 43 years ago through the theater. You mentioned lighting. I did lighting for quite a few years. I've acted, directed. When the Baca Players first started here, this council asked me to take over and create the Baca Players. It didn't work out. There's too many differences between seniors and what we do at the theater. My concern is, you mentioned requirements. Do you know how much curtains, lighting, everything weighs on this area here? Has any initial done? You're talking 5 to 10 tons weight. Can this building hold that weight?
You're exactly right, and that's why we hired Kirk Johnson from Corgan to do the feasibility study. That feasibility study will look at the infrastructure to see if it will hold the grid and be supported right.
Also, I know a week to 2 weeks before the show, you start having rehearsals. What is going to happen? Are the rehearsals all going to be in existing contracts that they will be after hours, so that they will not interfere with what the center has? You said you will not alter what the center has. Now, we have in the evenings activities. What kind of provisions are there that other groups will not use those facilities that are going to conflict with what we have scheduled?
Well, you're exactly right. When doing a play or a musical, it takes 4 to 6 weeks to rehearse that play and get it going. But these arts groups have been rehearsing in alternative spaces throughout our community already. So that won't change. When they do their rehearsals, they'll keep them there, and then when they're ready to move into the facility, they'll have a tech, a time, and all.
Is that verbal or in written form?
Nothing's written yet. You can see, we're just in the early stages of the design of this process.
That's why we're bringing up the question.
Let me get to you next, ma'am. Sir in the blue shirt there, have your hand up.
Thank you.
Charlie.
A couple of things I'm wondering about. Number one is, where are you going to store the equipment not being used? Are you going to take some of our other rooms to store this equipment in? Where are you going to store it? And how does this affect our parking that is already overtaxed?
That's a wonderful question, and no, we're not going to take up any additional spaces that you already have for storage in this building. And no, we probably will not be looking at any parking spaces for that storage. We'll probably be looking at additional storage out here on the loading dock area or outside that area. Maybe it might even be a truck area that might roll things in. Corgan, has been hired to answer those questions for us and look to see how we can have that stored properly and easily.
Okay, just help out. Did we get your question answered, sir, about the parking?
You're not going to store anything in the rooms, the open rooms.
That's part of what Corgan will look at, is where will we store this stuff. So.
They're full.
But, yes, ma'am.
Yes. My name is Beth Wiggins. I'm a Baca member, and I'm also the volunteer Spanish instructor here at the Baca Center. Thanks for your presentation. I certainly wish we had found out about this a lot earlier. Many of us have found out about it just recently, and that doesn't feel good. That does not feel good, and I don't know what the reason could be for that. It smacks of age discrimination, I have to say it. It's something that I've experienced here, and I'm sure other people